Hello, everybody. Captain Marty Brill here on Thursday, May the 22nd. We've got a lot to talk about, as always, in our fishing report. Glad you stopped by, too. But it's been a little hit and miss, especially with the offshore fishing. I'll be back to update you in just a moment.
Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village is the closest spot on the Outer Banks to the Gulf Stream. Just inside Hatteras Inlet, Teachers Lair is fully loaded with bait, tackle, ice, snacks, and drinks for your fun-filled day out on the water. Want to get rigged up to catch the big one? Lee and the gang in the tackle shop can outfit you to catch whatever is eager to get hooked. To see the marina, the tackle shop, or to book a charter, go online to teacheslair.com. Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village. Your fishing venture awaits.
Come and experience fishing for the whole family aboard the Crystal Dawn at Pirates Cove Marina in Manio. The Crystal Dawn is a roomy 65-foot headboat, fully equipped with the latest gear to give you the best fishing experience. Worried about getting seasick? Fear not. The Crystal Dawn stays in safer and shallower waters to lessen the likelihood of that happening. Half-day and private fishing trips are available. To find out more, go online to crystaldawnheadboat.com. The Crystal Dawn Headboat out of Pirates Cove. Fishing that is fun for all ages.
We're going to do all of our offshore report in one swing. Ocracoke, Hatteras, Oregon Inlet. Everything is settled in a little bit, and it's a little bit disappointing on the yellowfin tuna side. We did see a little better tuna fishing in the Oregon Inlet fleet today, but still it's pretty darn scrappy. And down to Hatteras, it's been blackfin tuna hit and miss, along with a few wahoo. Both fleets are catching a few wahoo. But the telltale sign is the bottom fishing going on for tile fishing, sea bass mostly, and that is definitely a backup plan, a plan B on the fishing front. So our offshore guys, when they are doing that, it's because they're trying to put some meat on the dock, keeping in mind that normally this is the time of year when historically we catch boatloads of tuna, and it just ain't happening right now. Is it just a short-term glitch in the Gulf Stream and the migration patterns, or is it something more? We don't know. Time will tell. But there has been one thing that has been pretty good, a decent blue marlin bite, and at times really good. We talked about a couple days ago, Bull Tolson on the Sea Toy caught 5 out of 7 blue marlins. You know, a lot of customers, charters will fish their whole life and never catch a blue marlin. So to catch 5 on one boat in one day out of 7 attempts, really a good report. Inshore boats, a little bit of everything going on. Down in Hatteras, they've been doing some drum fishing on some wrecks. They've been catching a lot of sheephead that way as well. Spanish mackerel and bluefish. The Oregon Inlet fleet, Spanish mackerel and bluefish as well. They also had some bonita mackerel. That's a fish that I did catch back in my career, and it's an edible, really good eating actually, bonita, but it's a bonita mackerel. It has teeth, unlike most of your tuna species. I don't know if that's actually a scientifically accurate name or not, but this is not a skipjack tuna, and it's not a false albacore. It's a little bit longer, striped, and like I said, it does have a mouthful of teeth. There's also still been some cobia around, but that does seem to be a little bit more hit and miss than what it has been lately. All right, so then we jump over to the surf and the pier, and there's been pretty good actually. Like always with the pier and surf report, these fish are moving up and down the beach. So if you're on the pier or near the pier when let's say for instance the tail or bluefish go by, then you're gonna say, wow, it was great fishing. But if you're somewhere else down the beach and the bluefish are not in your neighborhood, you could say it's pretty slow. But with the bluefish have been the saving grace. We've had in the surf and on the piers, we've had a really good year on the 2 to 6 pound bluefish, and we've had some big bluefish as well, some legitimate big bluefish in the 9 to 12, 13 pound range, and we have them over a wide area around the inlet, on the piers, along the beach, and back in the sound. And so that's something to be encouraged by. But the sea mullet bite has been pretty good. The blues we've already talked about. A lot of Spanish mackerel. There again, they're a moving species of fish. You catch them on metal lures. So you need to, what most people do is if they're fishing with bait, like cut bait, they'll have a spare spinning rod ready to go with a sting silver or a gotcha plug, or something of that nature that's an artificial lure, shiny, and word passes quickly because the Spanish, you can see them. They break the surface of the water, and when they get in the neighborhood or your pier partner or your surf partner catches 1 or 2, you need to switch over quickly to the metal lures and do that. Now you can get all that information. What's the hot metal lure? What's the way to rig up? The best information you can possibly get is in our local tackle shops, and they go out of their way. This is what you get in a local tackle shop is you get local knowledge. All right, so when you go in a big box store to save $1, you're not getting that real-time live update. You're not getting the real-time fresh bait if you're using cut bait, and you're not saving any money. If you'll go price shop a little bit and compare, you'll find out that the local tackle shops are very comparable to the big box stores. So that's something you want to keep in mind. These guys will set you straight and get you on the right path. Make sure you got the proper license for wherever you're going. And, like I say, right now is a great time, maybe one of the best times of the year to get out there early in the morning, late in the evening, and take the kids and some light spinning tackle and catch some of these bottom feeders that are so good to eat, like the sea mullet, which is widely considered by locals to be one of the very best. And then you're going to get some pompano. We've had some of the first pompano of the year show up. We've had some small black drum. Remember for years that Alan, the former owner at Trade Winds Tackle in Ocracoke, said he'd rather eat a small black drum than any fish that swims in the ocean. And we're seeing other high quality fish being caught off the piers. We're seeing a few trigger fish actually being caught off the piers. That's a little unusual. Now that is my number one, without a doubt, favorite fish to eat. And especially, I'm just thinking about it here a little bit. They are really good. You skin them. They're hard to skin, but you skin them and then you fillet them, and I cube them. And I do it, what I generally do with them, they're really good fried, but I don't like to put breading on them. When I get triggerfish, I like to take the chunks and saute it in a little bit of garlic butter, maybe a little olive oil, salt and pepper. That's it. To me, you're doing them a disservice when it's breaded, although I can eat anything breaded and fried. So anyway, that's pretty much the Surf and Pier Report. I'll take a little break right here, and I'll come back to talk to you a little bit about some other opportunities on the sound side of our islands, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Are you ready for a fishing thrill like no other?
Oh, there he is! There he is! Oh, got him up!
As seen on Wicked Tune at Outer Banks, the Carolina Girl, captained by majestic Jesse Anderson, is a custom, luxurious 53-foot Jarrett Bay built boat running out of Hatteras Harbor Marina. Let Jesse and her crew give you a fishing experience of a lifetime. To book a trip, go online to CarolinaGirlSportFishing.com. Carolina Girl Sport Fishing, your offshore adventure awaits.
So now we've been talking all spring about boat fishing in the sounds and, and how you had to be careful. The water was cool. It's a big body of water. It gets rough really quickly. There's a lot of responsibility. It's basically a small ocean, and it gets rough quicker than the big ocean. But now we're starting to see wading picking up. Remember last summer how good it was? And people thought, well, you really don't need a boat. My friend Tony Lombardi, who has his website, thewalkingangler.com, specializes in talking about places you can go fishing that you do not need a boat. And I really recommend walkingangler.com for that reason. And he also helps me with things like my fishing guide, which, by the way, just came out yesterday. I saw it, and we'll have it all around town in the next week or so. So, the point being, here are some areas you might want to think about. The backside of Hatteras Island, really good. And up around the Rodanthe area, just north of that in the park itself, there are some access areas. Make sure you follow the parking rules. But you would park on the highway, walk down these little dirt paths to the sound. And now you don't need waders. The water's warm enough. You do need something on your feet. Do not do that barefoot. But get you an old pair of shoes and get out there in the sound, and you cast and retrieve. Now you can also do that. It's a little bit early, but I'm starting to hear the hints. But around Roanoke Island, there's all the way around that island, there are places where you can wade the shoreline. There ain't anything more enjoyable to me than taking a speckled trout rod and getting out on the bank and just fishing for a little while. So you will need a fishing license, and you will need to understand certain seasons are closed, like for flounder and trout. But there are things that are available to you to catch and keep. And so that's a great way of doing it. Then you can also, there are those people that like to do the kayaking thing. And this is kayak season as well. A lot of people do that, and you'll see them at the darndest places actually. But I'm not getting in a kayak personally. I would get in 2 kayaks with a sheet of plywood strapped between them. Instead of put me a lounge chair on top of the plywood, I might try that, but I'm not getting in anything that could turn over and I'd have to get back in it. Probably wouldn't happen. But kayaking is a load of fun, and you just need to understand your limitations and don't push your luck with stuff like that. So there's good opportunity for all those fish I just mentioned. In fact, as we head into the weekend, the table is set for some of the best fishing of the year, but I do hope the migration will improve the tuna fishing offshore. These guys are charters. I talked to several of them day before yesterday on the dock at Pirates Cove, and it's a big undertaking to come from Ohio, charter a boat, stay in a hotel, all the planning that goes into it, the money that it costs. And then you really hope this time of year to go out, and people don't go out expecting 600 pounds of fish, although that's not at all uncommon, but it's really hard when you go out and you catch less than 100 pounds of fish. And it's hard on the captain and the mate too, who are doing everything possible to make a good day. So anyway, keep all that in mind. Hopefully it'll pick back up again. Last year we had a late spring tuna run, so maybe that'll be the same thing this year. We've got tournament season coming up with the Big Rock tournament in Morehead City coming up in a few weeks, right there at the beginning of June. So we'll keep you posted on all those things. Meanwhile, go out and wet a line. You're not going to catch them in the motel room, and I hope you have a blessed day.